Hi there, my name is Zik3, and this is my Owlboy Any Speedrun guide. Now, before I start getting into things, I'm going to get over a little bit of preliminary stuff. First off, I'm making this guide in the assumption that you have watched my glitch guide video. That guide kind of goes into more details, more of the gory stuff about glitches and tricks. So if there's something you don't understand while I'm going through this route, I'm not going to be going into too much detail, so I'm going to link that down below so you have something to reference. This is mainly going to be showing the route, how you can get through the game as quick as possible. Now, a couple other things to note. In the new patch of Owlboy, there's many languages to choose from. Playing on this one in Chinese is the fastest language, so there is that. There is an auto splitter that we use for timing in this game that is linked on the speedrun.com page for Owlboy that was made by Viz Major. It's really awesome, so if you're gonna do runs, check that out. It'll start the game, it'll start the timer for you. It'll, split at different sections for you. It's really cool. And finally, we'll kind of really quickly talk about, you can speedrun this game on controller or keyboard. That's up to you, whatever you're more comfortable with. Just know that on controller, you have no option to rebind your keys in the game, where on keyboard you do. And the advantage of that is on keyboard, you can rebind the roll button from spacebar to literally any other key, I think. And most people use the shift key. And instead of pressing roll all the time, you could just hold the button in to roll. So on controller you can't do that, you have to press the button to roll. It's really the only big difference. But yeah, other than that, we'll just get right into it. So you'll start a new game, skip the first cutscene, and we're off. So we're just going to be starting out in the house here. We'll leave the house and we'll be performing our first skip / trick of the game, which will be a food zip. Don't hit those books. So upon leaving the house, fly up. You have to talk to Asio first. And then you're going to drop straight down to these pieces of food in the ground right here. And you'll be doing an up cancel food zip is the fastest way to do it. That can have multiple results based on when you press up. So I will do one right now and we will see what kind I get. And I'll talk about the others. And I turned around at the last second. That's fine. So here we are, and this is the best scenario you would want. We'll call this scenario 1. This is exactly what you'd be looking for. Scenario 2 is you would land right around here. I believe this is if you press the button later, but don't quote me on that. But this is the kind of slower way, but it works well. The third scenario is you can land in this ring room here, and you really don't want that because then you have to reload, and that's no fun. So it all depends on the timing of when you press the up button. I really don't have, it's within frames, so it's more of just keep trying it and get a feel for it. If you're not comfortable doing up cancel food zips, you can just do a simple, regular old, plain as day, right facing food zip. You're gonna be a little higher up, so you're gonna have to drop down to here, and here's where scenario 2 landed. So you are gonna lose a couple seconds in that sense, but that's guaranteed to work every time. Super safe, and it's, it'll work great for your first runs. Anyways, no matter how you end up getting out of bounds, you're aiming to get out of bounds, and you're gonna come straight down. Look for this kind of square part of these clouds coming out, and you'll cut back into the map here. Come around to this pot under it, and you can see you can grab it. That will put you back in bounds, and then you can fly to Valley Cave. Just like that, we've skipped getting Getty as our partner because the game gives him to us upon entering the cave. So let's proceed through the cave. Now, if you've played the game in the past, you may notice that there are a lot less like little cutscenes that play during this cave. Things flow a lot faster. In the newest patch, they got rid of a lot of those cutscenes. This guy's gonna get in the way, so I'm gonna take him out. But that's actually going to come into play later on in the cave. So you're going to come up to this piece of food and you're going to doing an early cancel food zip. Now you want to cancel this food zip as soon as you can, like very quickly. If you don't, you're going to have to load from last checkpoint. This one's a very tricky food zip, so if it's your first run, you're not getting it, you can just go do the part where you throw the rock at the wall with Twig. That'll work too, it's just a little slower. But you'll come up, touch this food, and do an early cancel as soon as possible. So that you stay under this floor where this gnome guy is. You want to stay in this area. Then you have to come over here. Now one thing you have to do when you get here is you have to cut down and make sure Twig laughs. Twig laughing is the cutscene trigger that triggers this next event. If Twig doesn't laugh, this won't play, and you won't be able to progress. So go on over to there. That event will play where the rock wall falls. You'll be back in bounds. Proceed as normal through the cave to our next piece of food. Here's going to be another early cancel. This one isn't as important. If you don't get it, it's just slower. You'll still be where you need to be out of bounds. It's just gonna be a little higher up, kind of like how you were in Valley. So do a zip. This is the early cancel. This is exactly where you want to be. If you don't get the early cancel, I will show that off as well. If you don't want to do the early cancel, if I can do a food zip, wow. You just drop down, just let Otis fall, fall, and you'll see this is where we were before. So you're just really high up into the air, but you're still in the same spot, so it's just a bit slower. And then you'll need to fly over right to this rock. You see the saving symbol in the upper right hand corner. This is one of the first cutscene triggers you have to hit. That's one of the cutscenes that was kind of removed, and why I mention that is because even though those cutscenes are gone, you still have to run through the triggers for them, or else the events won't play out right in Valley Cave. So you're going to come down here and talk to Getty. Another cutscene event trigger is right. I like to just kind of walk along the bottom of this wall. See that gawk fall. Then you're good to move on. Sometimes that gawk family can fall and you didn't hit the triggers, so be very careful with that. So come over here, and right below me is the boss room. You're just going to drop down and land on top of the room. If you land to the side of the room, you will end up in bounds, and you don't want that. So be on top of the room, skip the cutscene, and you'll remain out of bounds. If you go to the side, when you skip that cutscene, the game will put you back in bounds, and you'll have to fight the boss. But after you skip that cutscene, you can just ignore the boss and come straight over to the teleporter object. You have a bit of a music glitch, but don't worry about that. It's beautiful. So you'll free yourself from Twig, and then you'll attempt to do the teleporter skip, where you will be pausing the game to try and skip the animation of obtaining the teleporter. That will be denoted by the bobbing of the teleporter. On its 5th bob up, I'll count it out, but on its 5th bob up, you'll pause the game after Otis grabs it. So I will count it out, and I'll try to get it, and we'll see. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause the game, unpause the game, and it skips the game opening the menu and showing you got the teleporter. So after you have the teleporter, we can bail out of the cave. shoot down these, throw Getty on the button, and then you're going to do it, shoot out this box and do a partner clip off of those barrels. Then drop down. I like to go a little bit left so you kind of see the camera shifted here, and then walk to the right till you see the symbol in the upper right hand corner. Then you know you can reload safely and leave the cave. That just makes sure the Getty cutscene plays. If you don't get the Getty cutscene, you reload, you didn't hit the checkpoint, and you're going to go way back kind of near the teleporter and lose a bunch of time. So just to guarantee I hit it, I like to drop down and then walk to the right till I see the saving symbol. Anyways, we're back in Valley, pirates are attacking, and we're going to be skipping all the cutscenes in Valley by doing a series of food zips. So this first food zip I'm about to do, we'll call this one the optional one. The second one is the important one. So if you don't want to do both these zips, you can just go up and I'll kind of show it. So this is the food you'll be doing the food zip off of. But before that, if you don't want to do the zip, you can just kind of fly up to here, shoot these out, and this is kind of where the food zip's going to take you. So then you can just fly up to the food from there. So this is the optional one. The second one is mandatory. So you're going to come to this food. I forget what direction you have to face. Face left. I only know it from the motions of leaving the cave. You're going to face left, and you're going to be doing an up cancel as late as possible. So I'm going to zip. As late as possible to a zip, an up cancel, and fly straight up to the scarecrow food. And you're going to be doing a turnaround zip off of these pieces of food. I'm going to get out of his sight so I can speak. You're going to be doing a turnaround zip off that food. Either direction, it does not matter. If you're left, just turn around to the right. If you're right, just turn around to the left. As long as you hit one of these. So I faced right, turned around to the left. You'll be on the same spot on the other side if you were facing the other direction. You're just going to fly to the shaft that leaves Valley and just follow the wall straight up. You'll hit the loading zone to leave Valley, and you'll skip all the cutscenes. So, now we're in Tropos, and we're going to be moving on to the Owl Temple entrance. As I mentioned at the beginning about rebinding controls and whatnot, rolling is the fastest form of movement, which is why I talked about rebinding roll. So make sure you're rolling all the time. So we're going to head on here to Owl Temple entrance, be doing another food zip, because we just can't get enough of those. So fly up. Go around this yellow guy, come to this food, and you'll be facing left using this left piece of food. Just do a normal everyday food zip. You'll end up, you're basically above the map. I'm up top where the swirling cloud is, and you'll just hold left. I actually think I messed it up. Yeah, I didn't hold left right because I was talking about it. So, yeah, when you do complete the zip, just hold left. Don't press any other buttons. Do the zip, hold left, and you'll hit the loading zone for Owl Temple. What I did there was I was kind of talking and trying to show where I was on the map, and I dropped down below the loading zone. So, do the zip, just hold directly left. Right here, you can load from last checkpoint once that little, you'll see the symbol. Anytime you see the symbol in the upper right hand corner, you hit a checkpoint. So that just skips a little intro cutscene that says, like, you know, welcome to Owl Temple. So as soon as you see the symbol, just reload to skip that cutscene. Next, you'll want to do a partner clip off of this column and fly up to the fish, where you'll hit another checkpoint and you can reload. So now is where things are going to get a little complicated. These next two zips are very complicated. I'm going to show the safe method first that I would recommend to first time runners, and then I will show the, fast, good way to do it. So if you're not comfortable with the whole crazy things I'm going to show in a minute, there is a pretty safe way to do this. And you'll just hit these fruit, face right, and you'll do a turnaround food zip off these fruit. So go, turn around. And now you're up here by the waterfall, and you fly. We're basically going to get Alphonse. So you'll fly up, to the right, around these gawks, down when you see this spot. Camera gets a little weird. And you're going to want to, in this corner where I'm pointing, there is a checkpoint. You hit that checkpoint, reload, and then you're at Alphonse. You're where the other zips will take you. So you'll hit that corner, there will be a checkpoint, you'll reload, and get Alphonse. I don't want to hit it because I want to reload and show the other method. So that is the safe method. Again, I would recommend that for first time runs. It's very easy to do. The difficult way to do it, and I actually really hope I get this first try, is there's this 2 series of zips that will put you pretty much right at Alphonse. It's really nice. So the first one you're going to be doing is a turnaround up cancel off of these fruit, and I'll show where you're supposed to land with that. Facing right, turn around, and then press up. So this is where you want to be, and that was actually perfect. If you land out of bounds below this, there's a checkpoint at these fruit, so just fly up to these fruit and reload, and you'll be at these fruit. So that was the first zip. Turn around, press up. Next, when you're here, you're going to be doing a low angle turnaround. Facing right, low angle, turn around to the left. And you want to do that as quickly as you can. You don't want to waste any time doing the turnaround. So we'll see if I can get this here. Nope. This one's very difficult. Very difficult. Turn around. And this is where there are 2 locations the zip can take you. This is the inbounds version. And if you get this, you will go hit the button to spawn Alphonse and get him. If you land out of bounds, like right below where I'm standing, you have to fly over and go to that corner. That will trigger the button cutscene, and then you can go get Alphonse. That will spawn Alphonse. I hope you can see my cursor, but you can fly, still out of bounds, fly down to the door, and you'll just walk into the Alphonse cutscene. You'll just walk in bounds to him. But if you land inbounds, which will probably be where you land 99% of the time, you'll just fly over, hit this button. You could try and toss Getty onto it like that, and if you're lucky, you can fall into the hole here, and you have Alphonse. That might take some practice. Those are a very difficult series of tricks. A couple other things to note. There's a lot happening right now. Wow. You can pause the game, kind of like the teleporter. You can pause the game to skip this cutscene animation, but there's not really a good visual cue for it. I like to use the health bar. Like once the health bar fills up, you know, it's kind of around that point, but it's more of just a feel for it. Try your best. So once you have Alphonse, you notice I just took some damage. The game still thinks Alphonse is a boss, so after you get him, you have to reload. That will allow the game to refresh itself and realize Alphonse is a friend and not a foe anymore. So that's all we came in here for. We're gonna leave Owl Temple now. So you're gonna come over to these fruit and do a turnaround up cancel, facing left. Right up, and you're out of bounds. I don't know if I hit a checkpoint. If you don't want, okay, good. If you don't want to do that, there's another way you could do it that's really not too much slower. And actually, if you do it really quickly, I think you can match it in speed. But you can just come straight up and partner clip off of this column. I'm gonna kill all the enemies, but when I say if you do this fast, it can match the other method, If you can do this while the enemies, without killing the enemies, it is quite fast. But you'll do a partner clip using Alphonse on that pillar. And right around here is where the food zip landed. So that's another method if you don't want to do the food zip. But no matter which method you use, speaking is hard. You're going to be taking a long trip out of bounds. Try not to get lost. Be careful right here. That shaft is a loading zone. Don't hit it. Bad things will happen. Don't mind the camera. It does that when you're out of bounds. Just keep falling. If you don't want to get lost, you can follow the contours of the map here. Just follow the outline of the map. Down the shaft. To the right, and you're going to, this is the entrance to Owl Temple. Just fly up into it. And we're out. This is how we're going to be skipping Advent. But to skip Advent, you have to get Alphonse. So we're going to go in, get Alphonse, and get out. On leaving the Owl Temple, this cutscene will play. You can watch the cutscene. It's completely fine. This was the cutscene that was supposed to play when we entered Owl Temple, but we skipped it. You can either watch this cutscene and move on, or you can skip it. Note, if you skip it, and I will show, the game will stay blacked out until you load from checkpoint. And if you just reload, it puts you back in the cutscene. So what you have to do, and this is faster than watching the cutscene, as soon as you come out of the Owl Temple, skip the cutscene. And you're going to blind movement. I like to hold right, and then hold left a bit, and reload. And now the game's back, and you're down below where the cutscene was. So skip cutscene, I like to hold right, hold left, wait till you see the symbol in the upper right hand corner, and reload. Now we're just going to be leaving out Temple entrance. You have to watch this, you can't avoid this. And head out the way we came in. So the next thing we're going to be doing is going to get Twig. And surprise, surprise, we're going to do a food zip to do it. So just come straight to the right. Just hold right. Till you see these food, come down to them. You're going to be doing a right face, turn around, food zip. So face right, zip, press left. And here we are, we're out of bounds. So we're going to fly around, just follow this movement up this thin section. Be careful right here. There are, right above me, there are like spiky hitboxes that will damage you. So don't fly straight up here. Just kind of hug this wall near the Bogwin hideout or whatever that is. Shanty town. And you'll come up to this wall and just hug the side of it. And this will take you to Mesos Passage. Next, we'll be doing a partner clip off of this chest. So get up to the side of it, jump. And we're out. Now something to note here, you don't have Alphonse anymore because we didn't go to Advent. So you only can partner clip using Getty there, which can make that a little difficult, but it's not too hard. You're going to fly straight up until you see this pattern of 9 enemies here. And the entrance, there's an entrance to Mesos here. Don't fly to this shaft. There is a cutscene with Twig's brother there. Don't fly to that shaft. The entrance to Mesos is in the middle row, the rightmost guy. That is an entrance to Mesos. And that will take you into Twig's house. So by entering Mesos the wrong way, we're skipping pretty much half the cutscenes for it. We're just getting straight to the point of getting Twig. So let the cutscenes play out. Exit the house. I didn't mention at all this point, but if you don't know, there is a skip cutscene button in this game. It's R1 on controller, F on the keyboard. That will advance all the text for you. So that's why there's like almost no text appearing on the screen. I'm glad I waited till like 25 minutes in to talk about that. Anyways, another cutscene here. You can also skip this one with the pause. This one's also kind of just by feel. There's not really a good visual cue for it. I like to use, you can see Alphonse like inhaling and exhaling. I kind of use that as like a timing method, but it's not, it doesn't line up very well, so it's still kind of by feel. But once you have Twig, he's a little broken. We're going to be using him to get out of bounds. So you'll fly up to this door, spawn Twig, and you'll notice you have an option to talk to him. Talk to him, skip the text, and it'll push you out of bounds. Once you're out of bounds, you just fly up to the bridge of the Mothership here, and you'll load right into the Mothership. It's probably the easiest out of bounds you can do in the game. Now that we have Twig, I'm going to reload there because I want to talk about. Now that we have Twig, Twig is the fastest form of movement. He's faster than rolling. So you're going to be twigging around as much as you can in this ship. The thing I wanted to talk about here is when you get to this point, if you want to, you can start pulling this vent off and then start the cutscene. So it'll pull the vent off while the cutscene's happening. It saves a quick second. If you do that, there's a series of buttons that you should do. You don't have to, but there's a risk of soft locking here. If the vent gets pulled off at the same time the cutscene begins and you're holding Twig, the game soft locks. So what you could do to avoid that and still save the time, grapple it and then let go of Twig immediately and start the cutscene. The thing will still grapple off. So grapple, let go of Twig, and move into the cutscene. Even if the grate falls off at the same time the cutscene begins, if you're not holding Twig, it's okay. So you're going to fly into the vent and just go trigger the cutscene with Alphonse. Spin that bomb. They're not fun. You don't want to get hit by them. More little things that I probably should have mentioned earlier in the guide, so I hope that, you're watching the guide in its entirety. Is that rolling speed is defined by your health. I just thought about it when I talked about getting hit by that bomb. So if you're not at full health, you won't be rolling at full speed. But if you reload from checkpoint at any point in this game, you get your full health back. So if you ever get yourself hit, just reload at the next checkpoint to get your rolling speed back on check. So now we're going to be leaving here. And real quick to talk about these vents. Rolling in air is faster than rolling on the ground. So you want to be rolling in air as much as you can, which can be kind of tricky in these vents because you don't really have room to get flight. But if you jump and spawn a partner to you, it puts you in flight. So an easy way to stay in the air in these vents is walk into them, jump, and spawn a partner. And then you'll be in the air and you'll be at your maximum rolling speed. So you'll leave the vent and enter this room. We're going to be proceeding through Mothership pretty much as normal for the first half of it. And then we'll be doing the explosive skip with Twig to skip the other half. In that section, I like to grapple the grate, drop Twig, and then run straight towards the gate. That way you can get there as quickly as possible and still dodge the shots. Come over here and up the elevator. There's going to be another vent section coming up. Again, be careful of the bombs. They can be very tricky and deal a lot of damage. So, this is actually pretty interesting. You could see that there is one bomb, what looks like one bomb going around this shaft. If you notice when he's going around the corners, you can see there's actually two bombs stacked on top of each other. I'm not sure why this happens, but sometimes this happens and it's glorious because you don't have to wait his cycle out. Of course, I'm waiting now, so it doesn't really matter. Usually there's two bombs in this square area and you have to destroy one to move on. So if you see one bomb, for some reason the two bombs spawn on top of each other, and it's really nice because you don't have to wait for him to get out of your way. You can just fly through that section. So here begins the Twig explosive skip, and again, I'm not going to go into too much detail with this. I'll give it a really quick explanation, but if you want to see more, check out the glitch guide. So we're going to spawn Twig, pull this vent, drop it, Fly all the way around. That pirate guy, as long as you just roll through that room, even if he sees you, you'll be out of the room before he can call the alarm, and then he'll just forget about you when you enter that screen transition. So just book it through that room. Come over to the hook, grab it, let go, and hold down. Now that we're out of bounds, you're gonna go around the elevator shaft. Go to the right, go to the right, go down. And when you see this vent, this is where you know the position is, right at this corner where the aim cursor is. Fly to that corner, and it will start this silly cutscene that will make sure that we have Alphonse now. Once we have Alphonse, fly back to the elevator shaft and go straight down. Wait till you see the checkpoint symbol in the upper right hand corner and reload, and we're back in bounds. And I really messed that up. What you could do here is you could just hold right and roll through that. Hit the button, roll right. Pull that chain up, roll out of the vent, drop Alphonse on this button, really quickly roll back up, and you'll have opened the door to Dirk, and we can move on to the Dirk fight. So here is our first boss fight, one of two. And honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about. Kind of just handle this fight however you feel comfortable. How I like to handle this fight, and it's mainly because I play on controller, but when you're using Twig, you notice you glow yellow, and those are invincibility frames. As long as you stay Twig grappling in this fight, I'm not sure about on keyboard, but on controller you could just live forever. But you could just dodge the knives he throws, and you will end up just fine. There's really no way to speed up this fight, so again, just handle it however you feel comfortable. The only thing optimization you can do is one, as you just saw me do, and I'll explain it again. I like to get behind him when he does the charge attack. That way he's charging at a less distance across the room, so he'll hit a wall like as soon as possible and not go halfway across the room. So you see, I'm gonna hold behind him, wait till the last second to dodge. That way he just hits the wall behind him. I don't have to wait for him to cross the room with the dash. The other little thing too you can watch out for, and it's at the end of this phase, which, real quick note, the third phase, you can just stand in the middle of this door here and it's a safe spot. So here's another way to take care of this phase. Anyways, at the end of this phase, he's gonna be doing his dash attack. You want to make sure that Dirk ends the fight on the left side of the room here, because you'll get flung backwards from him, and we're leaving on the right side of the room. So if he dies on the left, you get flung to the right, and you'll be at the door you want to be at when you leave. Hold R1. Don't forget to hold R1. Skip all this text, and we will head on to the big long cutscene section, which I'm probably going to cut out of the guide because it's a lot of cutscenes. But real quick, I will talk about the relic room, which will be the next room we enter. And I won't lie, I should have done a little more research on the relic room before starting this guide, because I've started to question how this room works, but I'll tell you the best way you can do it. So you're going to leave Dirk's room. Don't forget to use Twig because he's fast. And enter the relic room. Now, after Twig and Alphonse are done talking here, they're kind of being like, hey, we should try and bust these relics out. The next cutscene that plays will play no matter what. But if you try to bust the relics out, the cutscene starts faster. So just spam attacks, try and hit all 3 canisters. You know, I'm not sure how much damage you have to do, or if you have to hit, you know, every canister. Really quick, you have Getty here, but you're not supposed to, so he can't do any damage. So that's just something to keep in mind if you have your partners. Getty won't be doing damage, so don't use him. But after that, this cutscene begins. And from here on out, you have to go to Molstrom's room and watch all the post-Mothership cutscenes. It's a couple minutes, it's quite long, and there's no way to skip it. So Twig to the hallway and watch it. So I'm going to cut this part out, because there's nothing to do, then just watch the cutscenes. And I will catch back up with you at Valley after the cutscenes. See you then. Okay, welcome back. So, we're back here in Valley, and be careful. There's pirate ships still here. They can still shoot you. Everything's kind of invisible because it's all messed up, so just be careful of that. So we need to proceed over to the rocket ship, and you can't, or the professor's lab first. Technically, it's by the rocket ship, but you can just fly there. That's fine. And if you're not comfortable with food zips again, you can do that. There's 2 food zips you can do to get there a little faster, though. I will show both of them off. One's a lot easier than the other. The first one you can do is they're both using the scarecrow fruit again. So come up, face left, and just do a normal little food zip. This will take you to here, and you just fly through this area, and here's the rocket ship in the lab. I'm so happy I hit that checkpoint. Like, pure happiness. If you want to try the little faster one, it's the same thing as the Alphonse zip. It's a low angle turnaround zip. Nice. It's a low angle turnaround. And that will take you, here's the rocket ship. It puts you very close. But that can be tricky with the pirate ships shooting at you, so just be careful. Come over here, hold R1 through that cutscene. That cutscene plays because we skipped all the initial Valley cutscenes, so cutscenes are a little messed up. So you'll enter Colonel's house here, or the professor's lab. You'll say yes to Colonel, go outside, say yes to Colonel again, and you'll go up in the rocket ship to space. So again, it's another cutscene section. The end of the game's pretty backloaded with cutscenes. So again, I'll catch back up with you in space. See you then. Okay, here we are in space. Most exciting part. There's a lot of interesting movement in space. Your movement's really different here because you can't fly really anymore. So, the first thing I'll talk about is ground movement. If you're on keyboard, just shift roll. That's the term we use. Just hold down the button and roll. If you're on controller, you can just roll. You can also do a movement that I'm a big fan of, and I'm convinced it's a bit faster, but I haven't done any real official timing with it, just some very rough timing. And that is called spin dashing. What you can do is press, I'm on a DualShock controller, so it's square and circle, but roll and spin at the same time, Don't press any directions, just these two buttons. And you do a little spin dash. And you can chain these together over and over to get some sweet movement that, you know, on a keyboard might not save you a ton of time because of the auto rolling, but on controller it is faster than tapping roll, especially if you're not good at your timing of tapping roll yet. So we're just going to advance forward for a bit, proceed through space as normal. So that's pretty much the basis of ground movement. Either roll or do spin dashing. That's up to you. The difference will be so minimal you won't even notice. If one of them is faster than the other, we're probably talking a second in the run at most. But yeah, the other couple things you can do is maximizing your ability to fly. So in space, you have one flap of your wings before you're dragged to the ground. So some things you can do to maximize your movement if you have to do aerial movement is, what I like to do is jump, press up and over, and you'll see it later, but you get a nice burst of speed. Also, when you're in the air, make sure you're holding the roll button, because you do move faster. Here's regular jump, there's roll jump. So you do move faster when you're holding roll. I will show off the aerial movement at the broken bridge section, because it's just much easier to do it in an open area than in this cramped room. So here we are now, we're in the open, in the broken bridge section. And so here's the movement I'm kind of talking about. Jump. You have to be holding roll. If you're not holding roll, you're not going to get this well. But so it's a jump, up and over very quickly before the flash of light happens. And you see you get that dash. And that's a nice burst of speed to maximize your time in the air and get through flying sections like that very quickly. But if you're not holding roll, you won't get much speed. So jump, up, over while holding roll. Move on here to the chandelier room. You can skip a lot of this by doing these jumps. Just make sure you're holding roll. Now you notice here, I got on this chandelier before the flash of light happened and the silly noise. So the next time I jump, it's going to do that immediately. So watch. Immediately. So you won't get that flap to get that extra height. See, so I canceled it, so next time I try and jump, I wouldn't make it to that next chandelier. So if you do happen to be in this state when you get in the chandelier, just jump, let the flash of light happen, and then you can make it to the chandelier. So that applies to anywhere. So if you ever catch yourself jumping somewhere without that flash of light, just do another second jump to make that flashlight happen so you can get your maximum jump height back. So here we are at library skip. So again, I've detailed this in the glitch guide. I'm not going to go too detailed into the inputs and whatnot. I'm just going to show how I would do it in a run. Spin this up. Wait till you're free. And we're up here. You just want to get up here, fly over to this corner, and you'll see the checkpoint symbol, and that puts you back in bounds. So that is the route you'd want to take with library skip. I will, check out the glitch guide for the inputs and the details on that if you're having difficulties with it. So from here, you're just going to proceed through this area as normal. Again, this is where, holding roll and doing these dashes is really going to help your space movement. You can, see you can skip rocks with it. You can get through sections very quickly. So it might be worth sitting down and practicing space movement a little bit, just till you get the concept of this dash down. This one you have to wait for this a bit, but in another case you can skip a rock or two here by doing dash movement. And you're just going to come over here and do the auto scroller skip. Get this pull, jump out, and jump till you see the cutscene happen. Skip the cutscene, and we'll head on up to Solace to finish off the run. You can roll straight up here, you can use Twig. Because kind of the top screen height is limited, you're not going to get a whole ton of speed from either or. You know, Twig won't take you as far because you're limited. But, oh, really quick, I'm going to come back here. There's a piece of food here. This food will put you at full health. So, that is, it will not fully heal you. It will put you at full health. So, if you've got the, like, purple health, which is, like, the excess health from eating food, when you eat this food, it'll actually damage you because it wants to put you back at full health and you're above full health. So, just be wary of this. If for some reason you're not at full health, take this. If you have purple health, don't take that. Purple health is nice. I just know that that fruit can get some misconceptions from some people. Are like, why'd they put a fruit at the end of the game that hurts you? So come over to Solace's room, skip the cutscene, and just take out Solace. I mean, the first two phases, they're pretty straightforward. Just, you know, hit the relics with the partner as intended. You know, his attacks are random, so there's not a whole lot you can do here. This attack sucks. What you'd really want is the attack where he pulls a bomb out of the ground in all three phases. If you can get that attack, you are set. Because he's kind of staying stationary for a long period of time, where you can just lay in a ton of damage. So the first two phases, straightforward. The third phase is where you can kind of, you know, save some time, where you can attack him freely with whoever you want. And the way you want to go about that is, the first step is using your Alphonse shots as soon as they're ready. And between Alphonse shots, use Getty. So here's the bomb attack, which is just perfect. Same thing in phase 3, you'd want to get the bomb attack though. So here we are moving into phase 3, and again, you want to nail in your Alphonse shots as soon as they're charged. Don't wait if you can. And between them, use Getty shots. This attack here, you can reflect those back for a little extra damage instead of dodging them. This attack is kind of an invincibility attack, but he will take damage if you can land a few shots. So don't be afraid to try and hit a shot or two in there. Here's the bomb attack, which is exactly what we want. And just like that, Solace is down. So, Solace is a fight where definitely just kind of keep trying it multiple times, get used to the attacks, get used to reacting to the different things he does, and be prepared that in phase 3, he has that beam of light attack, and he has the attack where he can, like, rainbow Solaces appear. The rainbow Solace one, you cannot do damage, so just be prepared that that can happen. You can get the invincibility phases, you may not get them. His attacks are random. So, but with the defeat of Solace, we're going to watch a couple of the final cutscenes and move on to the end of the game. Timing will end when you enter the gate at Dream Sequence to talk to Asio. The auto splitter will not stop time for you, so be prepared to stop your timer yourself at the gate. Some of the other things to note, I can get into Dream Sequence movement later. Just sit through these cutscenes. I'll talk about the things when they come up, so I'll just stay quiet for a little bit and I'll speak back up whenever we get to the spots where you actually play. Okay, so this right here, where the ship crashes into the tower, is the only skippable cutscene in this whole sequence, so don't miss it. This is the crawling section. Hold right. Real tough stuff. And you'll move on over here to this little tower puzzle. When you hit these, don't spam the spin button. Kind of, you know, rhythmically tap it. Give it like a quick hesitation. If you just spam it, the piece will still be turning when your second spin goes through, and nothing will happen. You'll have to do 3 spins. So it's actually faster for you to rhythmically tap your spins than to sit up and mash it. And don't miss it. I just missed one of them. But that is definitely a common mistake, which is, you know, not something you really pay attention to because it's like, who cares? But you can save yourself a tiny bit of time at the end by not mashing. After this little sequence of events, we're going to move into the dream sequence. Another very straightforward spot. All you can do is move, you know, fly around. And it's just a left to right spot. So just the best way to do it, because you can't roll, is to be rhythmically tapping the right key or the right button on your controller. Because just like in space, you're going to get that dashing movement. And you'll get that tiny little burst of speed. So you're just going to chain those dashes together over and over again until you get to the end. So here we are in the dream sequence. As soon as Otis is done looking around, you'll jump, fly, and as I said, just keep tapping right to get this dash movement. And this is going to be the fastest way you're going to get through here. If you need to move up, which you do in certain spots like here, instead of going up and over, if you rapidly kind of tap those buttons, you can, I'm going to try and get it right here. So you can see, tap up and then over immediately after. And you can get the horizontal burst of speed while moving upwards. So if you do it in the other order, over then up, he'll do a flap up and you'll get more vertical movement than horizontal movement, and you don't want that. You'd want way more of this horizontal movement than vertical movement because you don't have to move up very well. So that's just another really tiny optimization, but pay attention. And this gate right here, this is where you'll end the time. So as soon as you lose control of Otis, you'll stop the timer. So you'll come over and time. And that's it. It's as simple as that. That's the Owlboy Any % route. I hope the guide made sense. I did this in one take. Just played, explained as best I could. Again, the glitch guide will be an excellent companion to this because I didn't go into too much detail. But if you have any questions, if you're still confused, if there's any tricks you can't get, you're having an issue, something's not right with your game, feel free to leave a comment below. I'll try and respond to it. Feel free to, if you're learning the game, feel free to come over to the Owlboy Speedrunning Discord. That also is linked on the owlboyspeedrun.com page. So feel free to come by. Ask for help. We're always willing to help. We love seeing new people come out and run this game. It's a really great game to run, and it's really easy to pick up. So if you're new to speedrunning or anything like that, you're not sure, this game's really easy to get a hold of and start getting runs in. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope this helped.